everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua, and this is going to be a subscriber request video. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had so many people asking me to do various topics, but I chose to start with the long-lasting fragrances in my collection. I think the most recent request came from Nicolina from Germany. That is the lady I remember from recent requests, and I decided to put 24 fragrances together that are going to give you at least 24 hours performance, getting you through your day and even beyond. And sometimes 24 hours is a stretch, but these fragrances really do last long. What I've realized is that beast mode fragrances do not necessarily equate long lasting. There are some fragrances that in the first 2-3 hours you get like beast mode performance, it fills up an entire room, only for it to get to the fourth, fifth hour and then you can barely detect those fragrances. They have they are beast mode, but they don't last long. Whilst there are other fragrances which are not beast mode, they are quite moderate, but they will last you like days upon days. I have a combination of all those things here, and I didn't want to limit myself to Middle Eastern fragrances only. These 24 fragrances are a mix of my Middle Eastern, designer, celebrity, and then niche fragrances. So I have a lot of them here, and all of these fragrances are quite long lasting. And I'm going to start off with one that I recently picked up, and that is going to be Amere from Latafa. This is fairly new. I haven't given it the opportunity to macerate as much as I would want, but even for the first 1 week that I've had this fragrance, it's really long lasting. I will call this one both beast mode and then long lasting, because the first few hours, maybe the first 1-2 hours, is very beastly. It gives you like something very aromatic, a bitter cardamom with some spices, very aromatic spicy citruses, with the bitter cardamom, and it's going to linger like throughout the day, like 24 hours. But you need to spray these fragrances on clothes before you can really achieve that long lasting performance. In most instances, I know we have a lot of people who will tell you to go with some hygiene routine. You take your bath, you moisturize and all those, but if you do not sort of overspray your fragrances and spray on clothes, nothing of those things is going to matter. When you do those things, you need to also sort of spray a bit heavy and then spray on clothes for you to receive the impact you want the fragrances to make. And one such fragrance that is going to make an impact if you wear it well is Amere from Latafa. It is super, super long lasting, at least 12 hours. On skin, not so much. On skin, you're going to get about 7-8 hours, but on clothes, if you sort of overspray, you're getting like 24 hours plus. So Amere here is that long lasting fragrance I'll highly recommend. The next on this list is a fragrance I've had for quite some time. It's macerated, intensified. It is very rich, dark, heavy. It Shall You Good by Latafa. This is super, super long lasting. It is going to give you performance beyond what you bargain for, beyond what you bargain for. So you need to be a little committed to some of these fragrances because they are not going anywhere. As soon as you wear them, you are stuck with them for the whole day. Even if you want to try something else or you want to change them, it is going to be difficult because these ones will take over. Each You Good is going to be your dark vanilla with the suede leather nuance, very intense. Some people say they get some bent rubber. I sort of see where they're coming from, but to me, this is a unique fragrance with a very powerful performance. It's going to last you like the whole day and then some. So Each You Good from Latafa. The third fragrance is going to come from Swiss Arabian, and this is Casablanca. This is a very crisp, sharp, a bit of a synthetic caramel, apple, vanilla sort of fragrance. It is very intense, need to be committed. You can't wear Casablanca and say I'm going to top off with something else in the next hour, because this is likely going to overtake it. It's going to last you like at least 12 hours plus, maybe not 24 hours plus for all these fragrances, but once they're on clothes, they're going to stay, like some of them are annoyingly long lasting. Sometimes you want your beast mode long lasting, but it can also be annoying, especially if you want to change them and wear something else without taking your bath and they are still there. And Casablanca is one of such fragrances. It is quite annoyingly beastly and then last you like an entire day. So Casablanca, I would highly recommend if you're looking for beast mode. The next one is going to come from Arabian Oud. Oops. It's going to come from Arabian Oud, and this is Reseller. Reseller is a very oriental style, Middle Eastern. It doesn't have the note of oud, but it goes in the direction of oud bouquet, which is like the oud rose combo. But this one is, I think, chocolate and saffron and rose, I believe, but it's going to give you that oud bouquet vibes, or even shagaf oud, but more smoother, more chocolatey, more rich, like resonance. This is like this is so long lasting, it is beastly and then also long lasting. It is one of those, one of those few fragrances that have both characteristics, beast mode and then performs. It lasts you the whole day. Even on skin, it's going to give you about 6 hours just on skin, 6 hours plus, and on clothes the whole day, 12 hours on clothes, 24 hours on clothes, all depending on how much you spray these fragrances. So Reseller by not Latafa, but Arabian Oud, it's very powerful. I would just consider it as a very powerful, intense, rich, thick, chocolate, sort of, oriental oud style fragrances. So Reseller, I would highly recommend if you're looking for beast mode and then performance, long lasting all day. The next one is not going to be a Middle Eastern, but a niche fragrance, and this is Creed Amethyst for hair. Creed is one of those very powerful fragrances without being too much, citruses plus ambroxan sort of feel, musky, pineapple, clean, crisp, fresh. That is all about Creed Aventus for hair. I like the both for him and then for hair. This is phenomenal. If you're looking for beast mode, it is beast mode. It fills up an entire building. It also performs. Once you put this one on, like 24 hours plus, you're still going to smell your clothing until your next wash. It lasts like 24 hours plus, and also, as I say, you need to be committed before wearing some of these fragrances because they are not going anywhere. It's going to stay with you. You're going to get the performance, the potency, the compliments, everything that you want in a fragrance. I find in Creed Aventus for hair. And one similar fragrance that is not a niche fragrance but follows similarly in the performance and then the potency of Creed Aventus for hair is Roses the Emotion from FA Paris. They are not the same, but they give me similar vibes in the way they perform. Roses the Emotion is a very it's a rose scent, like a very light watery rose scent with some musk and that sort of ambroxan musky vibe, similar to the characteristics of Creed Aventus in terms of the scent, how it behaves, a freshy but also quite potent. And this is going to last you 24 hours plus. Trust me, even before maceration, this fragrance was doing so well. It performed so well. It is one of the best, aquatic floral scent. You need to be committed, as I'm going to say throughout the life of this video, because all these fragrances are very potent and you need to make up your mind that you are going to wear this like for the whole day without being annoyed by them, because they can just last you and last you and last you more than you imagine. So FA Paris Roses in Motion, I would highly recommend. It is beautiful, womanly, feminine, but it gives you the performance 24 hours plus. Then I move on to one from Watani Al Watania, and this is going to be Nadine. Nadine is going to be your petitgrain neroli vanilla scent. It is more of a green sort of harsh opening, but it fizzles down and settles down beautifully. But you're going to get a heavy petitgrain, which can be off-putting to a lot of people. After a few minutes, it settles to this very beautiful floral fragrance with the vanilla undertones, which has been likened to Sintra by Memo Paris. Others have also likened this fragrance to Love Don't Be Shy, but I think I sort of see it more of Sintra than any other fragrance, But this is going to be your beastly, a bit annoying, because petitgrain can be a little annoying, especially if you are not used to that. So you need to be a little cautious when trading with this fragrance. It can be a little suffocating, very choking if you overspray, or you don't use it appropriately. if you use it in the high heat, it's going to choke you because it is loud, it is potent. Aside it being beast mode, it lingers throughout, the whole day, 24 hours plus. So I would say be a little careful about the number of sprays you do when it comes to Nadine, and also be ready to commit to it for the whole day. So Nadine is going to give you the beastly performance as well as the long lasting, quality you might be looking for in a fragrance. Next, I would say go with Junun Rose by Al Haramain or Haramain, and this is going to be your very beautiful rose amaretto scent. It is quite unusual. It doesn't give you the typical roses that we know of, because of that amaretto. And I never knew anything about amaretto until I came across this, then I was able to sort of put one and one together to know what amaretto smells like. I know it is like a liqueur. I've not drunk that before, but it gives you that sort of slightly boozy liqueur vibe with the intense, dark, sultry, a bit gothic rose that I find in this. It is beastly, For a ladylike scent, it comes across as very beastly in a way, but what separates this from a lot of rose scents that I have come across, the fact that it performs, it lasts. It's going to last you a whole day plus, especially on clothing. On skin, you get about 4, 5, maybe 6 hours, if you push it. But on clothes, it lingers like the whole day, So Junun Rose from Haramain is one that I would say go for if you're looking for a sort of different, unique rose, with a boozy, but not like intensely boozy, touch. So Junun Rose from Haramain. The next is going to be I think Van Cleave is a designer house, I believe. Yeah, it's not a niche, and this is First by Van Cleave and Appels. And this is not going to be your everyday simple mass appealing feminine scent. This is a quintessential French girl scent, like it gives me old school money, old school classic French girl style with some civet and some yellow florals. I per se am not into yellow florals, but when it comes to First by Van Cleave and Appels, it's done so well. It is not overwhelming. It is not choking. I like the civet, touch here with the florals, and that old school vibe that it gives me. It gives me like old school, something, antique, antique smelling, but very polished, very polished. It smells matured. It doesn't really come across as heavy beast mode, but this lingers. It lasts you the whole day. I put it on clothes. I think I wore it about 2 weeks ago, for an event. I wanted to feel a little more ladylike, and it lasted me the whole entire time I was there. I guess topped up once, when I came home, my clothes the following day, I could smell this, So it's going to give you that classy, chic, elegant, matured vibes, but it's going to last you the whole day. So First from Van Cleave and Appels, and I understand this was Princess Diana's signature scent, may her soul rest in peace, as they would say, So Van Cleave and Appels First. The next one is going to be from Lattafa, and Lattafa has given us a lot of beastly, long-lasting fragrances, including Amethyst. Amethyst needs no introduction, especially when you wear it around people who know Lattafa fragrances. It is beastly. It is going to perform. It is quite polarizing for a lot of people, but not to me or people who have noses close to mine. This is a very beautiful Turkish delight sort of, roses scent, that banyadi, but still very beautiful Middle Eastern Oriental style, fragrance. It is rose upon rose. I think it has Turkish and Bulgarian rose plus some vanilla and some bergamot, like which feels like a candied bergamot. This is very beautiful, and it's super long lasting. It performs like beyond a day, so also need to be a little committed before you go for Amethyst by Lattafa. I'm going to go with another one from Arabian Oud, and this time I'll go with Madawi. Madawi is not your average fruit chili. You're going to get an intense peach, something a bit sparkling, something like a champagne effervescent vibe. People have likened this to Eva Pura. Nothing like that at all. It doesn't smell. I don't like Eva Pura, but this one I love. It's raining. I don't know if you can hear, but it's raining outside, So maybe when I edit, I will, I don't know, but it's raining outside, so bear with me. This is going to give you a very polished, intense peach with some apple and then pineapple blossom. That is essentially what it is. It is very beautiful. It is beast mode, you know, not necessarily beast mode, but it gives a punch. You know, it's quite moderate, but it lasts you for a very long time. Once you put it on clothing or on clothes, it's going to last you like 15-20 hours plus, you know. It doesn't come across as beastly as a lot of these fragrances, but it's still very beast mode, depending on how much you spray. And you know, I do a lot of spray, so I get my money's worth whenever I wear some of these fragrances. It is beastly, and then it performs so well. So Madawi from Arabian Oud, I highly recommend, and it's also quite different from a lot of fragrances we are used to. Then I come to a designer house, and this is going to be an old school polarizing one that a lot of uh aunties, mothers, people who used to be the it girls of the 80s and early 90s used to wear. Poison by Dior. This, I have heard a lot of people say they hate this fragrance. I love this fragrance. I love how, you know, the plum is done, the sweet honey and the florals. It also has some yellow florals, I believe. But I love the way everything is done in this fragrance, you know. So it is also very quite polarizing to others and very intense and matured smelling. So plum, honey, florals, you know, yellow florals of the 80s and 90s. Dior, you know, Poison, you know, a classic now, highly recommend. It performs like so well. It lasts you the whole day and then some. Then I come to another Latafa, and this Latafa is Amere Oud Intense. This is not going to give you like an intensely beastly fragrance, but it's going to last you. The few times I've worn this, like in the last couple of weeks, anytime I think I have a cloth, like a dress or something that I wore, and up till today, I still smell this fragrance in this. It's been over a week, you know, and I still smell Amere Oud Intense in that, you know, and I layered this and this together. So I just want to say this is equally long lasting. It performs, it gives you the performance, but the focus is going to be on Amere Oud for this video, you know, although this is equally long lasting, you know, but this is going to linger throughout the life of its wear. 24 hours, 36 hours, 72 hours, you are still going to smell Amere Oud Intense by Latafa. Then I move on to the next one here, and that is not going to be is a niche fragrance, Alexander II by Zejov. You know how much I love this fragrance. You know, it gives me performance, you know, it gives me it's like the showman. It performs, it gives compliments. It lasts like 24 hours plus. So Alexander II by Zejov, I would highly recommend. You know, I don't even want to say a lot about this, you know, otherwise it seems like I'm trying to exaggerate. But this one is going to give you that powdery rosewood, sultry woods with a hint of oud and that rose, beautiful, you know, super long lasting. So Alexander II by Zejov. Then I move on to a Middle Eastern Latafa fragrance. It's going to be teriyaki. It's going to give you not, it's quite a beastly fragrance, you know, but it lasts and lasts. The first few hours is like super beastly. Maybe the first 3-4 hours is going to be like super beastly in your face, after which it sort of calms down, but it's going to last you 24 hours, you know, plus, especially from the way I spray, which is overspraying and topping up, you know, even without topping up, it's still going to perform so well, you know. So it is quite a good one. I would say performance wise, I'll give it at least 15, you know, hours, you know, on clothes. So Teriyaki by Latafa, highly recommend. Then I move on to one that has got a bit of controversy, but I have the older formulation of Empire Victor, which has the note of oud and that beautiful barnyardy touch, you know, creamy, heavy, thick resonance vanilla, and this lasts me 24 hours. You know, whenever I spray this fragrance, it lasts me an entire day and then some, you know, at least 24 hours. I'm going to get it until I wash whatever I wore this, you know, this fragrance with. It is super long lasting. It is also beastly, at least in the first 4-5 hours. It is beast mode. Everybody around you is going to smell you, but performance wise, 15, 20, 24 hours plus, you will get it from Empire Victor from Cartier. Then I move on to a Latafa, which is a flanker of Ragba that I like, Ragba with Intense, and this is so intense and piercing and sharp with the licorice and the smoky and the woods. Ragba with Intense. This is like a no-go if you don't like anything super spicy, super aromatic, super, Middle Eastern-esque vibe, Latafest Ragba didn't work for me, but Ragba with Intense is like a bit more of me, or a bit of me, or a bit more like me. I prefer this so much over that, and it gives me the performance. This is also Beastly. It is like Beastly and then performing monster, both worlds, like a blend of both worlds. You get the beast mode, you get the performance. So I'll highly recommend this. It is super beautiful, but more of a cold weather sort of, fragrance if you wear your fragrances according to season. So Ragba Wood Intense. Then I move on to another niche fragrance that I consider Beastly, Asa by Tiana Ter. Very like woods. It's all about the woods and some florals, like some gourmand touches. It's like coat of many colors, like I referred to. It has everything that you can imagine, from the woods to the florals to the gourmand to whatever. And then it brings this concoction of a very heavy oud sort of feel to it. It has sort of a Middle Eastern undertone to it. You need to love sort of Middle Eastern fragrances, with some musk and some woods and oud before you can appreciate Asa. It lasts you an entire day. Just be a little careful, because the scent profile by itself can be a little polarizing for others who are not into this sort of different style of, oudy, woody, strong, sweet floral, fragrance. So Asa by Tiana Ter, I'll highly recommend. Sometimes I find it quite difficult to describe this because I'm getting like a concoction of a whole lot of notes, but they culminate into something very beautiful, but it lasts you like 24 hours plus. So Asa from Tiana Ter, I will highly recommend. Then comes in a fragrance okay, so this is Adam Levine's For Hair. It's a fragrance my dad never liked. Whenever I wore this fragrance around him, when I was around him, he never liked this fragrance. But I've sort of formed some memories associated with him because of this fragrance. And I never really had any good relationship with my dad for the most part. I don't know, but I don't know. It wasn't the best. But in the last 6-7 years of his life, he was sick, and that was when we decided to let a whole lot of things go as a family, be there for him, and you know, yeah. So it sort of reminds me of him, in a way. But I just feel like this is Adam Levine For Hair is going to give you a very creamy sandalwood fragrance with some yellow florals, And here is a classic example of some yellow florals. I don't like marigold, but it is done so well in this fragrance, Adam Levine For Hair. I like how the marigold is done here, but it's more of a creamy sandalwood, which people say reminds them of Santal Blush from Tom Ford, So it is a good one, and at least I guess have something to associate with my late dad, but yeah, that is going to be it. It's super long lasting, it's going to perform, it's going to give you the performance you would want in the fragrance. So this is Adam Levine For Hair. Then I'm going to move on to another Middle Eastern fragrance, and this, a lot of people sort of have written this fragrance off. I know people speak lowly of Oud Alaya from My Perfumes Arabian. Gained it's not being made to seem like a good fragrance, but to me, I think it is a good one. It is super beast mode, Middle Eastern oud rose combo with some sugary sweet violet. It is a bit spicy, a bit loud, it takes over an entire room. So you need to be a little careful, but it's a fragrance that is more of an acquired taste sort of fragrance, but once you get used to it, you are going to enjoy this fragrance a lot more, So Oud Alaya from My Perfumes Arabian, I'll highly recommend. Then I move on to a niche fragrance that I find super interesting, Blanche. Bet this is super long lasting. It doesn't give me beast mode, for example, or per se. It doesn't give me beast mode, but it lasts like 24 hours, even beyond. You're still going to smell Blanche Bet, you need to sort of overspray to get that 24 hours plus. But I think this is as a result of 2 wears that I have had with Blanch, but very beautiful ambrette, milky lactonic, fragrance, creamy lactonic, but it's not a lactonic that taints my stomach. So I love this, I do with that gourmand cacao-ish feel. This is very beautiful, but it's going to last. It's not beast mode, but it's going to last and linger, like 24 hours plus. So Blanche Bed from Liquid Imaginaire. And I think the last three, one is going to be a fruity scent. Fruity scents for the most part do not really give you the performance, but when it comes to Alive Now or even Maya, the OG Maya from Latafa, any of those two fragrances are very long lasting. It might not give you 24 hours. Honestly, those two might not give you 24 hours, but when it comes to fruit, it's one of the few that I find very intense and very loud and beastly, as well as giving you the performance you might be looking for. So Alive Now or Maya the OG from Latafa, I would highly recommend if you're looking for fruity long lasting scent. And I'm going to go with Kmet Angel from Alhambra, fashioned after Kilian's Angel Share. This is very loud. This is very beastly, especially the first few minutes. I hardly spray this fragrance, beyond my neck because it can be a bit suffocating. So I try to spray neck down, so that I don't get choked up, because this is quite spicy, choking, intense, but it mellows beautifully. But the first few hours, maybe 1 hour, can be a little intense. Sometimes if I overspray, it gives me a headache. Honestly, if I do overspray, it gives me a terrible headache. So I choose not to spray beyond my shoulders. Just anything below my shoulders, that is fine. I don't spray behind my ears when it comes to this. I did it the wrong way and I learned my lesson. This is very potent, beastly, and then it performs like 24 hours plus. So Kmet Angel from Alhambra, I would say go for it. And the last one in this list is a fragrance. I finished with my first decant and I'm on my second decant, and this is Cartier's Secret Max from Cadlage. It is very like on steroids. It is heavy, just like the Arabian Tonka, the OG. It is very loud, very piercing. That Tonka sugary saffron, vanilla, I believe. Very heavy, very intense. It is beast mode as well as long lasting. It performs like for hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, 72 hours. You are still going to smell Cartier's Secret Max from Cadlage. So these are the 24 fragrances I decided to put together. And let me know what you think about them. If you have any other beastly performing long lasting fragrances, just let us know in the comment section to help us all. And it's going to be it for today, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.